Hello, welcome to this update for the Atlantic and the rest of Helene in the US and other areas, and Issac potentially affecting parts of Northern Europe. So let's see storm by storm. So first we'll see Helene and then Issac and then Joyce. So feel free to skip ahead. The timestamps are in the description. So let's see what I still say for Helene. Historic, catastrophic, life-threatening flash and urban flooding, including numerous significant landslides, will continue across parts of southern Appalachians through this evening. Widespread significant river flooding is ongoing, some which will be major to record-breaking. Damaging wind gusts will continue over Georgia and Carolinas, Tennessee, and Kentucky today, particularly over higher terrain in southern Appalachians. There is a possibility of long-duration power outages parts of the southeastern U.S. If you use a generator after the storm, be sure it's placed outside at least 20 feet away from doors, windows, and garages to avoid deadly carbon monoxide poisoning. So please continue to stay safe. This is not over yet. I heard some news, 20 people have already died, so please stay safe and be careful. Let's see, but it's there now. Just tropical depression, it will turn like post-tropical, so it's already dying, but you still cause some dangerous impacts. There's still the rainfall forecast of 1 to 4 inches from from Arkansas to Ohio, and still like 1 to 4 inches near Virginia. So let's see, but they still have this for the rain, but for flash flooding they still have a high risk. So North Carolina, Virginia, parts of Tennessee, because of all the rain that has already fallen and the flooding that's already ongoing, and still such a rain that's left to fall. So please stay safe there. Like I showed there before, like still some catastrophic flash and urban flooding and life-threatening landslides. So please stay safe there, and the moderate risk as well. Let's see, these the key messages in Spanish. Please stop to read them if you don't understand English. And let's see. So there's also still the high wind speed probabilities, tropical storm force winds still occurring in those areas. So please be careful. Here is a little bit of wind history. The hurricane force winds went all the way until Georgia. So yeah, and let's see what's happening. There's here, it shows still the high risk and moderate risk for today. Moderate in Tennessee, moderate from North Carolina to southern West Virginia, and the high risk they're like in North Carolina, Virginia, and eastern Tennessee. So please stay safe. A marginal still in Florida. Tomorrow still slight in parts of Indiana and Kentucky, and a marginal in Florida still for Saturday. Sunday still a marginal there from Kentucky to Maryland, and Monday still a small marginal going northeast, and next Tuesday still nothing. So be aware. Let's see. In terms of snowfall, it does show a tiny hint of snow possible in northern Montana into Canada there, like on Monday, day 4. So we might take a look at that later or in another video. And then let's see, the rainfall still shows today. So let's, this like Saturday until Sunday, so this will be actually day 2. So I'll show you for today in a second, but they still have for tomorrow a lot there in Kentucky, some more in other areas. For Sunday a little bit more, for Monday some more, especially on the east. For next Tuesday still some rain on the east, on the northwest. Next Wednesday still on the east northeast there. Next Thursday some more there on the east, and next Friday some more building the Gulf and on the northwest and other areas. So be aware. And let's see, there's still the hazards, the flooding and some hazardous heat still on the southwest. And let's see, day 8 through 14 still some high winds above normal temperatures and heavy rain there, and the flooding possible that's occurring there, and the onset drought. So be careful in those areas, but the main threat for now is the tornado threat, I think. So let's see, we still have that enhanced risk of severe weather there in North Carolina, the slight risk all the way to Virginia and the marginal, so please stay safe. There's that steep tornado chance there, like 10% tornado chance still North Carolina today, a 5% and a 2%, so please stay safe from those tornadoes. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Wind less than 5% and hail nothing. So let's see, a few tornadoes will be possible this afternoon across parts of North Carolina, Virginia. So please be careful there. Tomorrow, just some general storms in the southeast and some more general storms for day 3 as well. So let's see. Fire is okay, no critical, and there's this currently this tornado watch there for a lot of storms happening, so please be careful. I'll put a link to the warnings in the description there. So we have the excessive heat warnings in the southwest, flash flood warnings all over the place, flash flood emergencies. This was like a historic event. Tornado watch and high wind warnings all the way from Illinois to Tennessee, wind advisories from Arkansas to Pennsylvania, special weather statements for everything that's happened and that will happen still, and some heat advisories in southern southeastern Florida. So be careful, the flood watch is still in many areas, flood warnings and advisories. So here, let's see, this is the lakes and rivers, like the flooding stage, shows major flooding in the pink in many areas there of the southeast. So major flooding, moderate to high flooding parts of Florida. So please be careful around those rivers there. And let's see the significant tornado parameter. The HER still shows like those higher values now in North Carolina there, Virginia. This is like now or the next hour or so. And then later still shows some values northern Virginia there, because it's already almost afternoon there. So yeah, it shows by this evening still some low parameters, and they continue to decrease. So the actual highest threat is right now. So by the time you watch this video, it might be different, but just be careful. Stay tuned to the warnings. And let's see. So the European model still shows some wind gusts there about 8 miles per hour. So still shows like now some 75 mile per hour gusts, 72 across Kentucky, some very high winds, southern Indiana, Illinois, especially southern Ohio and West Virginia. Kentucky has the worst winds, and the Appalachian, like close to 75 mile per hour gusts near the Appalachians there. North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, so please be careful. Then this continues there, still some very high gusts, moves later tomorrow into Illinois, some higher gusts, and then kind of dissipates. Still some left in the Appalachians on Sunday, but kind of dissipates. And then later we have some more stuff to worry about. There's those high winds there in Montana, British Columbia and Alberta because of that system, and Nunavut, some very high winds as well. But then later next week into Sunday, we start getting some higher winds like North, South Dakota, and especially in Wyoming, Montana there, showing some higher winds there. Maybe another system throughout the west. And then let's see this next Monday. Next Monday afternoon shows very high winds, all the way from Nebraska to Manitoba. And then this keeps going and continues north there. But next Tuesday, the 1st, we might have a bigger system there on southern coast of Alaska, like British Columbia, so we have to watch for that as well. But be aware. And the rainfall accumulation, so for the rest of today, still shows like more rainfall in Tennessee, Kentucky, and not areas there. Like, wait, where's inches here? So it shows like still some 3 inches, 2 inches, and the HER shows like from now to Sunday, the HER shows more rain there, some 2 inches, 3 inches. So just be careful for all the flooding that has already happened, and still this rain that will fall. So stay safe there. And let's see one more thing. So the wind gusts maybe from the, where is it here, the European shows those high winds today across Western Canada, and then with that new system on Tuesday the 1st, showing some very high winds throughout Alaska, British Columbia, and those areas, so we better watch that as well. And the temperatures still very hot there in the southwest. We'll show you a better graphic in a minute there, but for Canada, still very frigid in the northwest, especially at night. Be careful with the very cold temperatures, so -5, -3, so be aware, and warmer in the southern prairies, close to high 20s. But that cold, this like Tuesday the 1st, goes all the way from Alaska to Wyoming, some potential negative temperatures, so please be aware. And then still might be warmer central southern US and maybe southern prairies, but Canada kind of cools down from all that cold there, so be aware of the cold, be careful. And let's see, there's the snow. There shows more snow, a lot from Montana, southern Alaska, and Nunavut, parts of northwestern territories and north areas. This until next Wednesday. If I put this further, shows a tiny hint in Montana, but nothing crazy. Maybe northern Washington, and yeah, so nothing crazy. Be aware. And here I'll just show the temperatures really quick in the southwest, and then we'll get on to the rest of the tropics. So let's see, today they're in the hundreds there, close to 112, 111, some 90s there, some 80s in some areas, and 90s on the southeast. So be aware. Close to 114 in Arizona tomorrow, day 2, so regional. Let's just see this closer up. Shows 114, 116 in Arizona, 114, 11 California, some 80s and 90s throughout areas of the west, so be aware. Day 3 for Sunday still shows like 109, 110 there, and let's see, some 90s further north as well, colder in the Cascades and some areas, and some 90s and 80s on the southeast, so be aware next Sunday. Next Monday still some hundreds, 90s there, and some 90s still in the plains and southeast. Next Tuesday still some 110, 109 in the southwest, some 90s in the south, some 60s are right in the north. And if you go to day 5, minimum temperatures already shows some 40s, potentially like high 30s Fahrenheit in northern Minnesota, shows already some 30s on the northwest, especially in the mountains. So this is from Tuesday to Wednesday, so be aware. And next Wednesday, maximum temperature still some hundreds there, some 90s, so be aware. And next Thursday, still some 100s there, some 90s, so be careful. There's also this other graphic, shows the 24-hour max wind gusts, more than 50, 60 miles per hour, many areas there, and like I showed you, the 70s miles per hour potential, so be aware. Now we have Hurricane Issac there in the Atlantic. It's in the subtropical Atlantic and expected to lift north there, so not going towards the Azores and Spain anymore. It will probably just be like extra post-tropical and affect the UK with some rain, and maybe Northern Europe, Norway or something. So shows like hurricane there, turning like extra tropical, post-tropical by Monday. But the Azores still might feel some wind from this passing nearby, maybe some rain. So be aware. Some tropical storm force wind probabilities, maybe the northernmost island of the Azores might get some gusty winds by like Saturday, but nothing crazy. So be aware there. Let's see. So this is the GFS. It does take like Isaac there further north, but it kind of dissipates, turns like post-tropical, and merges with another extratropical system, and both of them like spin around and bring some cold fronts and some light rain towards the UK by like October 5th. So nothing crazy, this just like die out there. But the GFS does form like, there's tropical storm Joyce there now, and then it does form another one after it and goes north and kind of dies as well. but might affect Iceland, but that's like 2 weeks out, so let's not pay much attention. And it does have more moisture in the Caribbean. Tries to spin up something in the Gulf near Louisiana, but very like running out of time, so we'll keep an eye on that. And shows more moisture in the Eastern Pacific, maybe heavy rain towards Central America to watch and more stuff. So now the European barrier does use it. It does show like Issac there, passes very close to the Azores, might leave a small cold front, some rain there. Then it does keep going. The European has a dissipating before it gets to like Europe, but it does bring it closer to Spain. Might leave some rain in Spain and Portugal, but some like leftover rain, because the main low pressure will be like heading north into the Arctic. So we'll keep an eye on that. And the European has tropical storm Isaac, leaves for a short time and then dies because of the next system trying to dominate. And the Europeans also form this next system and turns it into like a strong system as well. So both the GFS and the European are onto this. The Caribbean system, not much hope, but the European does have some more moisture trying to organize in the Gulf by October 7th, and some stuff on the Eastern Pacific to watch. So be aware. The Canadian has like it has Isaac there, it goes, kind of dies. There will be a first system before it, will bring some rain to France, and then Isaac will die and head north into the Arctic there, leave maybe some showers in the UK. And then there's Tropical Storm Joyce, expected to lift up, maybe be in a similar spot to where Isaac is. Then it also forms that next system there and goes north, so a bunch of storms there curving out. So let's see, there's some more moisture near the Eastern Pacific and on the Caribbean. It does try to form something in the Caribbean, goes towards the Gulf again, but this is the Canadian and sometimes it does great stuff, but we better watch that system closely. There's the icon, it has a system before Isaac and it has Isaac there, so the system before Isaac affects the UK and France with heavy rain, and there's Isaac, it keeps going, goes north into colder waters and dies. Maybe a system after it to spin around and bring some rain near the UK. There's Joyce, it lives for a short time and kind of dissipates, and then it has the system after it forming as well, very big system as well. So all the models are showing this next system very big, and this system, just so you have a reference, is this new area of investigation in yellow here. So this is the new system. It's now at 30%, so nav low pressure could form the eastern tropical Atlantic by early to mid part next week. Environmental conditions are expected to become conducive for some slow development. Thereafter, while the system moves generally west-northwestward 10 to 50 miles per hour, so be aware. And then, yeah, that's the system. And the system that might try to do something in the Gulf or the Caribbean is this one, at 30% as well. So narrow low pressure could form the Western Caribbean Sea by the middle part of next week. Environmental conditions are expected to be conductive for slow development thereafter, while the system moves gradually northwestward, potentially entering the Gulf of Mexico by next week, by the end of next week. So we're monitoring that too, so be aware. And the current information, Tropical Storm Joyce, it's there, lost in the Atlantic, and then you just curve north and expected to die by Tuesday there. So nothing crazy, just a little storm. But be aware if you're in a ship or something. And then it shows some tropical storm force winds there and no hurricane winds, so be aware. And the current ensembles for all these systems has like Isaac goes there into the north, maybe near Europe, and then it has Joyce, it kind of curves out there, and then there's the new system as well. It does have some indications by October 10th, no, October 7th, something might form into a lower latitude, maybe approach the Caribbean, but most indications it will curve out, but some members have it closer to the Caribbean by October 7th. It has like a lot of support for the Gulf, southwestern Gulf in the Caribbean, and maybe the Atlantic, but more in the southwestern Gulf there, and that's the Eastern Pacific actually. So we will keep an eye on the Gulf and on the Eastern Pacific, so be aware. And let's see here, maybe the GFS as well. It has some support for the Caribbean and the Gulf. We'll keep an eye on the Eastern Pacific too, and it has a lot of support for Joyce. Goes there, kind of goes out and dies. There's Issac, goes north there into the Atlantic, some other low pressure systems, and then it has more support for the stuff coming after. Some potential approaching the Caribbean, but mostly just curving north. So we'll keep an eye on that. So we can put here the Eastern Pacific too. Shows maybe a little bit of support, something near Mexico, some non-tropical stuff to watch near the US, and yeah, so be aware, and this made it. So there's a Hurricane Isaac. It's bigger now, like it's stronger. So a compact storm. It shows there passes just north of the Azores out into the Atlantic there, and then some longer runs. This is the Canadian model. The Canadian model is still trending near Spain, but even if this does reach Spain, it reach like a blob of showers because the water is cold and you'll probably die out, and some wind shear too. So it might leave some rain there, but no hurricane or anything to make landfall. So be aware, and it's now a hurricane, and most models show going down to a tropical storm, so no category 2 or anything. So be aware, and let's see, the tropical storm probability is still Isaac there and Joyce, so let's see those two continue, and then still showing some light probabilities from the system after it, right, at 50% by October 2nd, 60% by the 3rd, and we remains at 60% chance there. Then it has something by the 9th, 20% chance near the Caribbean. And then it has in the Gulf some 20% chance by the 4th, and remains like at 20% chance until like the 7th. Then it goes all the way up to 40% of a tropical storm there by October 8th. And might need to watch the rest of the Gulf. So be aware, this is tropical storm, not tropical depression probabilities. Shows Joyce there 100%, Isaac 100%, and shows that new system by the 30th already 100%, and shows like already 20 to 30% from the Caribbean system by October 1st, 40% the Caribbean. That's the remnant of Helene, and it still shows 100% from that new system, about 50% by October 2nd the Caribbean, the other one remains at 100%, and then it rises to 60% in the southwestern Gulf by the 3rd, and goes down to 90% in the Atlantic, because this might have formed already. So this keeps going out to the Atlantic, and still has 60% of something in the Gulf. Then by like October 9th, does show probabilities closer to the Caribbean islands to watch. And also shows a lot near New Mexico in the Eastern Pacific, so bear watch there too. So be aware, and in terms of rainfall, does show the European model next 5 days still shows some showers passing by the Caribbean, maybe a thunderstorm or two, more storms to Cuba, Hispaniola and Jamaica, the Cayman Islands as well, more showers and storms, maybe Puerto Rico, some thunderstorms, and shows Central America a little bit heavier there, so more showers and storms throughout Mexico, all the way down to Colombia, so be aware, especially in Mexico, more than 100 millimeters, so close to 6 inches, there'll be like 168 millimeters, it's showing 90 millimeters, 100, not areas there, the remnants of John maybe, 160 millimeters, 71 millimeters as John dies out there, and then let's see if there's still something for the Eastern Pacific. There's still Tropical Storm John, so it's still alive there, Tropical Storm John, and there's this new area of interest, 20% chance, like I showed you in the models, they had some support for that. So let's see, it shows some more showers and storms throughout Panama, throughout Costa Rica, so some might be heavier from time to time, be aware. And then shows in Nicaragua, western Nicaragua in the Pacific, more heavier, so be careful. But some more storms throughout other parts of Nicaragua, some showers. Southern Honduras, heavier there, and some more showers in the northern Honduras, maybe a storm or two in El Salvador, some more storms, but especially Guatemala near the Pacific, more than 100 millimeters, for southern Mexico too, so northern central Guatemala, some more storms, so be aware. Belize, more than 40, 50 millimeters, maybe some more showers and storms. In the Yucatan, so 60 millimeters, some areas 30 millimeters, so be aware. They'll show like 30 millimeters in Cayman Islands, in Jamaica, and some more storms throughout Cuba, some showers on the Bahamas. So be aware there. The GFS has more for Nicaragua and Honduras, close to 170 millimeters, 120 millimeters for Honduras, and El Salvador like 157 millimeters. So the GFS is showing more rain throughout these areas, Guatemala, southern Mexico, along the Gulf like 162 millimeters, and it has a lot from the Pacific coast there of Mexico, more than 176 millimeters from the coast there, 180, 200 millimeters. So this is the GFS. So for example, hurricane tracker, there's John, still on the coast of Guerrero, some areas there, still dumping some heavy rain. Better see the satellite to understand better, so let's see if it works. So here, so it does show the heaviest convection just offshore, but some heavy rains near Mexico as well. So be aware, near Acapulco, some heavy rains too, in other areas. So I don't know why this is working so bad, but let's see. That shows some more storms, some showers in other areas there, and the model shows more showers and storms throughout Central America, Dominican Republic, Cuba, especially Central America, Guatemala, Belize, southern Mexico, some more storms from time to time. So be aware, especially Costa Rica, Panama. So be aware there. And let's see, Central Pacific, nothing. So be aware of the heavy rains, some storms, and be monitoring this in Europe for the chance of a extra tropical system to bring some rain there. And Joyce and this next system like a curve out into the Atlantic, but we are keeping an eye on the next one after this two, maybe approaching the Caribbean. So be aware there. And if you are in the Caribbean or the Gulf, especially the Gulf, be watching this system. So I think this is mainly it. Let's just see if there's some like gusty winds or something. They're still near the southeastern coast of the U.S. there, because the system in Mexico still, most winds are offshore, but they show like there were some worst winds today, but they show they come down a little bit. And throughout the Caribbean it's nice, just a gusty wind or two, but nothing crazy. And there's the storms out there in the Atlantic, shows gusty winds there, and especially like shows there's Issac, it passes close to the Azores, potentially some 62 km/h gusts there, but the worst will be north. But the European model is now showing that this big cold front by Tuesday the 1st will bring in more than 75 km/h gusts in the Azores by like October 1st and 2nd, so be aware. And then it has more than 80 km/h gusts by October 3rd as this cold front passes by there. So if you're watching from the Azores, be aware. So gust wind two near the Cabo Verde as well. And let's just see here. There's still some lost dust in the middle of the Atlantic, some dry air, but the rest is very moist. And does show those occasional showers and storms there near the Eastern Caribbean, but nothing crazy. Just be aware. And bye.